Preet Singh has confirmed that the Indian Air Force shot down 5 Pakistani fighter jets and 1 large military aircraft during Operation Sindoor, launched in May 2025 in response to the April 22nd Pahalgam terror attack. Speaking in Bengaluru, the IAF chief said the aircraft were downed using long-range surface-to-air missiles, including the S-400 system. The IAF also targeted key Pakistani air bases, including Shahbaz, Jacobabad, where an F-16 hangar was destroyed, in Bellary, where an AEW&C hangar was struck, command centres at Murid and Chaklala, and at least 6 radar sites were also neutralised. Singh described the brief conflict as a high-tech war, stating that Pakistan's air defences were significantly degraded, deterring further escalation. Well, Shruti, thank you for sticking with us. Further information coming from India about that conflict, of course, in May after the devastating Pahalgam terror attack. And, of course, more information about the weapons that were used, the missiles, and also the impact on Pakistan. What's your initial response to these announcements?
Well, I look at it as a little too late. I wish the Indian side had spoken before. It would have stopped a lot of propaganda, false propaganda being spread all over the world without a counterbalance to what Pakistan was claiming. We've heard Trump himself say there were so many jets being downed. Now we know whose jets were being downed. We know which exact model was being downed and which particular operation they were downed in. So although India won the war that was orchestrated in the name of Operation Sindoor, we were a little behind in the narrative of it. And now when these revelations come through, I do understand that the Air Chief Marshal has specified which jets have gone down. But before that, the Air Marshal Bharti had said that we've downed a significant number of aircrafts, and but we cannot claim them because these aircrafts were not allowed to flow into Indian airspace, and so we do not have the debris on hands. So there had to be a very calculated move where they have probably determined exactly what losses were done and how. And when they only have concrete proof on their hands, they've now come out and made this public in the forums. Now, I also understand that this would ruffle a lot of feathers because Pakistan has not been able to provide any proof. And I'm pretty sure that the images and the other information that will come forth from now will showcase exactly whose jets were downed. And also, I believe that there was a mention of F-16s that were probably grounded or under maintenance, and half of that hangar had taken an impact during Operation Sindoor. So this might also show where exactly US had stepped in, because F-16s are a US asset, a prime asset that they want to sell to the world, and when they go down, whether on ground or in the air, the US comes in. So maybe, and this is just my personal opinion, that maybe this is exactly where the US came in and said, okay, now US property, even though bought by Pakistan, is being damaged and it doesn't look good for further F-16 deals. So maybe Pakistan should call, and this is probably the role of Trump and his administration in the ceasefire that is being talked about every second day. So Trump and his administration leaned on Pakistan, which made Pakistan DGMO call Indian DGMO, and the Indian DGMO rejected the first call at 1 p.m. and then accepted the second one at 3:15 after they were done doing whatever their business was on the 10th. So I believe this is how the sequence of events have now become clearer, and any confusion lost in the fog of war is cleared.
Yes, and Shruti, do you think Pakistan will respond? And if so, what do you expect?
I don't expect honesty from them, definitely. I do expect them to start asking where's the proof, shows the photographs, because this is the exact same narrative that was asked of Indian operations, whether they were just beyond the LOC in the POK regions or any other interactions with Pakistan. They still continue to believe they won the 1972 war when they actually, when 93,000 soldiers had surrendered to India, and they still talk about it as if Pakistan won the war. So I don't expect honesty from them. They would ask for proof, and hopefully our administration is well prepared with their proofs and paperwork to show them exactly how a victory is truly claimed.
Yes, and Shruti, I quickly want to circle back to Donald Trump, you of course alluded to this claiming of brokering the ceasefire. India have denied that allegation repeatedly, saying that it was not the US who made that call. The US potentially were involved in some capacity, but not in any way actually making this deal and getting it done. Do you expect there to be any further talk on this matter, given we've just had two further nations, as you mentioned as well, handing a nomination to Nobel for the Peace Prize for Donald Trump? This could, of course, be something that continues to rumble on and potentially extend conversations around this conflict that, of course, was ended swiftly by Operation Sindoor.
So if India ever had given credit, it would have been the feather of the cap of the Trump administration, because both India and Pakistan are nuclear-powered nations, and having them to step down or de-escalate would have been a much bigger thing than having, let's say, Thailand and Cambodia. Not that any destruction is acceptable, but a nuclear-level destruction is, which avoided through Trump, would have been a big deal. But as we know, that Indian administration has said that there was no role on the Indian side. In the 33 or 34 times that Trump has claimed that he was very instrumental, his administration was very active in the ceasefire, there was only one, where he said that I intervened on the behalf of Pakistan and the Indian bits did their own. There was only one such comment that he had made, and I believe that was the only one that was telling the entire truth, because now we know that the jets that he keeps talking about were the Pakistani jets that were downed, and we know that if the F-16s ever get into this particular kind of a frame where they are downed, the US gets involved. If now you understand that F-16s were under maintenance, that means the F-16s under maintenance come under US troops. So the US maintenance troops would probably be around it. So this basically means this was the reason why, if ever, US stepped into this entire conflict as a role of mediator, it would have been on the Pakistani side, heavily breathing down their necks, stop your nonsense, so that these people are US troops, do not face danger. You also know that there were two Azerbaijanis soldiers who were given a hero's burial, and they were in Pakistan itself. So there were other troops working on behalf of Pakistan during Operation Sindoor. And if the F-16s were being maintained by US troops, they would probably have faced a little bit of the heat. And at that particular time, maybe US said Pakistan make the call. And that is my understanding of what would be Trump's role in this entire operation.
Shruti Dasgupta, as always, thank you ever so much for joining us on both.